Good afternoon everyone, I'm John Fritz Agnes and together with my group mates, we will be going to discuss the chapter 3 which is the science and technology and nation building. In a modern and innovative society where advancements are plentiful and communication is instantaneous, science and technology are a part of everyday life by Julie Payet. This quotation highlighted the significant impact of science and technology on the development and improvement of our society and country as a whole. It is very evident and obvious that we are surrounded by science and technology that make our lives easier and help us in developing our nation's growth. Let's begin our discussion in the Philippine government science and technology agenda. Letter A, innovation culture. A culture of innovation is a setting that encourages original thought and advances initiatives to derive economic and social value from knowledge, producing new or improved goods, services, or processes. The recent success of the saltwater lamp, salamander tricycle, and Diwata microsatellite is a nice start, but it just shows that we have a long way to go before we develop an innovation culture. It is only possible to build innovation ecosystem if there are enough scientists and technicians. What is sustainable alternative lighting or salt lamp? Isa Mijeno is a Filipino scientist who created the sustainable alternative lighting lamp with the goal of sustainability lighting the remainder of the Philippines. This electrochemical LED lamp works by dissolving 2 tablespoons of salt in a glass of water, a saline solution which functions as electrolyte. Salt can provide light up to 8 hours and also capable of charging smartphones and other lower power mobile devices using a USB cable. This lamp is based on the chemical conversion of energy. It is also safer than kerosene lamp and it only has small carbon footprint and is completely sustainable and environmentally friendly. The next one is the Salamander tricycle. A Filipino-made amphibious tricycle was launched on the market to meet the demands of thousands of Filipino living in flood-prone areas and live-lying villages near bodies of water. H2O Technologies recently unveiled the floating tricycle, dubbed as the Salamander, at the Capital Common Center in Pasig City. This Salamander tricycle is an alternative mode of transport that can maneuver both land and flood water. This trike can be used as a cost-effective, fuel-efficient, and environmentally friendly solution to transportation as a security patrol in distributing relief goods, responding to emergencies and disaster, and more importantly, in bringing people to a safer place in flood-prone towns. Let us now move forward to Diwata 1 microsatellite. Diwata 1 spent 4 years in space producing photographs that have paved the way for the use of space technology in the Philippines to assess environmental change, contributing to science-based conservation, risk management, and statewide mapping. It orbited the Earth 22,643 times, passing 4,800 times over the Philippines. It took 45,572 photographs of the Earth with 17,271 images from the Philippines. The images covered a total area of 114,087 square kilometers or around 38% of the Philippine land area. Diwata means goddess or deity in Filipino mythology, and Diwata figures entails are valued supernatural being because they are guardians of nature. Diwata 1 embodied the role by keeping tabs over the Philippines within the array of high-tech imaging equipment. Let's now move forward to letter B, which is the ASEAN integration requires competitive technology. Science and technology assist us in comprehending nature and the world around us, as well as enabling us to live full lives through new and innovative methods. As a result, we must develop our scientific and technological basis as Filipino in order to compete in an integrated ASEAN. It implies that Filipino must advance our nation's technological and scientific capabilities. Additionally, it states that the government must support any and all innovation and ideas produced by Filipino scientists as well as those of any organizations in order to improve the nation and boost its competitiveness in the ASEAN area. Letter C. Two major approaches. Number 1. Stronger research and development in the region, not just in Manila. Increase funding assistance for research and development through DOST's sectoral planning, such as PCIERD, PCAARD, and ASTI, in collaboration with universities in the regions. All regions must receive the science program, but especially those where food product must be expanded, industry must grow, and innovation must flourish. This is essential given the effect of climate change, the high cost of electricity, and the requirement to distribute commercial and industrial activities. Number 2. Strategic projects in 5 areas. Letter A. Renewable energy. Renewable energy derived from natural sources that are replenished at a higher rate than they are consumed. Sunlight and wind, for example, are such sources that are constantly being replenished. Letter B. Science and technology industrial development. Our scientists and engineers need to participate more if we want to revive our fundamental industries like the steel industries. But what is the importance of steel industry in the Philippines? The Philippines iron and steel industry is a critical component in achieving inclusive economic growth and sustainable development. The industry provides necessary inputs for the construction of the infrastructure, power generation and distribution, transportation facilities and vehicles, manufacturing machineries and equipment, all of which are vital for nations' long-term growth. Letter C. Faster and less expensive internet. The Philippines has the slowest internet in Asia, but our archipelago requires it to build gaps and establish a network. Letter D. Improve food production. Due to the restricted amount of land available, technology is needed to boost yields, improve product quality, and decrease dependency on imported inputs like fertilizers. Letter E. Climate change adaptation. Modern technology is necessary to assist our farmers in adjusting to climate change, and outdated technology must be eliminated in order to allow for healthy yield potential. Letter F. Mechanism and characteristics that make it possible. First, more research funds from the OST. Second, strengthen the Balik Scientist Program and the ongoing program to retain young scientists. Our scientists' next generation needs to be working on real research projects. Third, cooperation between industry and research by incorporating them in sectorial planning committee. Fourth, SNT Corporation within ASEAN, particularly on the space program and climate change adaptation. The OST SMEs program such as setup should be emulated. And to continue the discussion, here is Ma'am Rica May De Jesus.
So good day everyone, I am Rica May De Jesus, your next reporter. Now let us discuss the major development programs and personalities in science and technology in the Philippines. Different programs and personalities contribute a lot in the advancement of our nation today. This program made our nation to be more innovative and productive. The personalities in science and technology bring changes in our lives with the help of their invention and discoveries. So let us first discuss the major development programs in science and technology in the Philippines. So first we have a Doppler radars. So in Baler, Aurora, Pag-asa constructed its first Doppler weather radar station followed by another in Baguio. It was constructed to boost weather forecasting capability and catastrophe risk reduction in the country, with 4 Doppler radars that can detect rain volume and 2 flood forecasting and warning centers finished in 2017. So next we have RA 7687 Scholarship Program. It is also known as the Science and Technology Scholarship Act of 1994. It was awarded to deserving students who must pursue priority subjects of study in the basic sciences, engineering, and other applied science, as well as science and mathematics education. So next we had a setup. Setup is a national plan to encourage and support SMEs or small and medium businesses to use technological advances to improve their operation as result increase their productivity and competitiveness. So number 4, we have a Balik Science Act. So President Rodrigo Duterte signed Republic Act number 11035 on June 15, 2018. The Balik Science Act was another name for this act. The law aims to strengthen the scientific and technology human resources of the public and private instruction, including locally registered firms, in order to foster knowledge sharing and accelerate the flow of new technologies into country according to the law itself. So number 5, last we have Philippine Space Agency. The Philippine Space Body or PhilSA will be the principal government agency responsible for all national concern and operations relating to space research and technology application under Republic Act number 11363. Among other things, the PhilSA is entrusted with assisting of country in design, development, and execution of national and international space policies. So now let us proceed to the major personalities in science and technology in the Philippines. So first we have a Fe del Mundo. So Fe del Mundo was born on November 27, 1911 in Manila, Philippines. She was the 6th child in a family of 8. 3 of her 8 siblings died in infancy, while an elder sister died at the age of 11 from appendicitis. Del Mundo to pursue a career in medicine. She conducted research that resulted in the development of a better incubator and a jaundice treatment gadgets. One of her notable invention is bamboo incubator. So bamboo incubator are undeveloped and have a low body fat content, making it difficult for them to maintain a healthy body temperature. So this is addressed by the modern medical incubator. Nevertheless, not everyone who require it has access to such as technology. So Del Mundo invented to open her own pediatric hospital, Children Medical Center, after becoming frustrated with the bureaucratic restraints of working of a government hospital. She sold her house and obtained a loan to help her build her own hospital. The Children's Medical Center, a 100-bed hospital in Quezon City, was founded in 1957 as the Philippine first pediatric hospital. In 1966, the hospital was enlarged by establishing an Institute of Maternal and Child Health, which was Asia's first of its kind. Fe del Mundo. She is also first woman to be named National Scientist of the Philippines in 1980. She has received the Elizabeth Blackwell Award for Outstanding Service to Mankind in 1966, the Ramon Magsaysay Award for Outstanding Republic Service in 1977, and the International Pediatric Association Outstanding Pediatrician and Humanitarian Award in 1977. So next is Gregoria Sara. So Gregoria Sara is a Filipino engineering and physicist. So Zara made significant contribution to the growth of engineering and invention in the Philippines. His contribution to popular comprehension and application of science in the country stem from his innovation in his field and field of expertise. He owns a total of 30 patents for device and equipment. The TV telephone system is the most popular of them. Zara invented the first videophone or two-way telephone in the middle of 1950s, long before the digital age began. When Zara patented the technology as a photophone signal separation network. In 1955, it moved beyond science fiction and comic book. So, the Zara effect, physical low electrical kinetic resistance, the wooden microscope of the automatic propeller making machine, and aircraft propeller made entirely of wood, the solar absorber airplane fueled by alcohol, the earth induction compass which pilot use direction, and the vapor chamber. So his scientific creation made him famous around the world, and he received several prizes and medals throughout his lengthy career as an engineering inventor, government official, and educator. The Order of National Science bestowed by then Philippine President Ferdinand E. Marcos in 1978 was most distinguished of this honor.
Thank you, Ms. Rica De Jesus. Now, let's proceed to Felix Maramba. He studied in University of Illinois, USA, Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Engineering in 1921, and in Iowa State University, USA, Master of Science in System in 1922. His field of specialization is agricultural and mechanical engineering. He is a Filipino scientist who developed and utilized biogas. He created a coconut oil-fueled power generator and developed one of the world's most profitable biogas system. In 1984, a thriving piggery gave him and his son, Felix K. Maramba Jr., the idea of generating their own power with methane gas produced from manure. Other energy requirements at Maya Farms, including the processing plant and feed mill, operated totally independent of Meralco. The said technology was given for free. Farm technicians fund out to the provinces to teach people how to harness energy from waste. Felix Maramba is the president of the Philippine Association of Flour Millers. He wrote 2 books, The Biogas and Waste Recycling, The Philippine Experience, and Farm Management in the Philippines. He designed the Maya Farms model. Next is Rolando de la Cruz. He is the president and chief executive officer of Bulacan's Darwin International School System. He is a passionate educator with a vision to mold world-class students. In his words, those who will keep on asking for more learning for as long as they live. In real life, this Filipino has gone the distance, from a working student barber to inventor to multi-award-winning entrepreneur. It was during his work as a barber that he became familiar with various skin problems suffered by his clients. Many of the people who came to him for haircuts suffered fungal infections and other skin diseases. That's when he began thinking about how he could help treat their ailments. Dr. Rolando C. De La Cruz is an award-winning Filipino scientist and inventor. Back in 2000, he developed a patented formula that allows to remove deep-grown moles or warts. Its formula was derived from the one growing on the cashew tree, extracted in the Philippines, which is common and known as kasoy. The cream, now called as the BCC cream, has been shown to effectively eliminate deeply grown moles, warts, and basal cell carcinoma. It is painless, unlike the previously known method of wart removal, which causes pain because it involves heat during the surgery. In the Philippines, the treatments are performed directly in shopping malls. The product has already been tested for more than 20 years and has been successfully used millions of times. The formula won numerous awards, including a gold medal in September 2000 at the International Fair for Innovation, Industrial Design and Technology in Kuala Lumpur. Dr. Rolando C. De La Cruz is also the recipient of the Tuklas Award. Dr. Rolando C. De La Cruz is also the recipient of the Tuklas Award for the most outstanding invention in 1998 from the Department of Science and Technology. The patented formula also received 2 other international gold medals, one from the Archimedes Inventors Fair in Moscow in Russia in March 2005, and the second is from the ENA International Inventors Forum in Nuremberg in Germany in November 2005. The same invention also received the highest score from a panel of international judges and was the top winner in the World Invention category for 2006 on the UK Invention Show on October 21, 2006 in London. Next is Diosdado P. Banatao, sometimes called Dado. He is born on May 23, 1946. He studied Mapua Institute of Engineering with a Bachelor of Science in Electric Engineering. His father is Salvador Banatao, was a rice farmer, and his mother is Rosita Banatao, was a housekeeper. He is a Filipino entrepreneur and engineer working in the high-tech industry. He created his first single-chip 16-bit microprocessor-based calculator. Dado started his own tech company, Mostron, which makes motherboards. It is credited with having developed the first 10 Mbit Ethernet CMOS with silicon coupler data link control and transceiver chip. The first system logic chip set for IBM's PC-XT and the PC-80, and the local bus concept, and the first Windows graphics accelerator chip for personal computers. A 3-time startup veteran, he co-founded Mostron Chips and Technologies and S3 Graphics. Every year, Banatao gives 5 educational scholarships to deserving Filipino students with promising prospects in engineering and technology through his Dado Banatao Educational Foundation. He also chairs the Philippine Development Foundation, which sends talented young Filipino minds to school in order to maximize their potential for the Philippines' future. Science education in the Philippines. The Philippines is making every effort to strengthen the country's science education. One strategy is to construct science schools that will inspire kids to pursue careers in science and technology and foster their gifted scientific potential. The concept of science education focuses on teaching, learning, and understanding science. First is the learning science. It involves developing ways on how to effectively teach science. This means exploring pedagogical theories and models in helping teachers teach scientific concepts and processes effectively. Next is learning science. It includes both pedagogy and the most interesting aspect, which is helping students understand and love science. And lastly is understanding science. It implies developing and applying science process, skills, and using science literacy in understanding the natural world and activities in everyday life. Getting deeper into the discourse of science education, John Dewey 2001 stressed the importance of utilizing the natural environment to teach students. Accordingly, nature must indeed furnish its physical stimuli to provide wealth of meaning through social activities and thinking. It is not surprising, therefore, that science education is important. According to Marx, 1994 opines that science is going to be one of the most important school subjects in the future. Science education provides skills and knowledge that are necessary for a person to live in what 1986 describes as the age of science and to develop a citizenry that will meet the goals of science in the society by Tilghman 2005. Science education in basic education helps students learn important concepts and facts that are related to everyday life, including important skills such as process skills, critical thinking skills, and life skills that are needed in coping up with daily life activities. Science education also develops positive attitude such has love for knowledge, passion for innovative things, curiosity to study about nature, and creativity. Science education will develop a strong foundation for studying science and for considering science-related careers in the future. This is an investment for the country to develop a scientifically cultured and literate citizenry.
Science education in basic and tertiary education. Science education in basic education assists students in learning fundamental concepts and fact linked to everyday life, as well as important skills such as process skills, critical thinking abilities, and life skills that are required in coping with daily life activities. Shale and Britain 2002. So in basic education, which include a preschool, elementary, and high school, process skills is how to do step-by-step process. Critical thinking abilities, so the student will able to think critically using the logic or other things. Life skills is skills that are going to develop we can able to use by daily life. Science education in tertiary education is concerned with improving student comprehension and appreciation of scientific ideas and achievements. It also focuses on the training of science teachers, scientists, engineers, and other professionals in sector, including engineering, agriculture, medicine, and health sciences. Tertiary level, this is a college student like us. To encourage more students to enroll in education, the state also provides scholarship and to pursue their dreams. What is science schools in the Philippines? The development of science school in Bairo section of the country is one exceptional program for science education by government. Also various government programs run by the Department of Education as well as few private science institutions. First is the Philippine Science High School System. The Philippine Science High School System or PSHSS is a government-run program in the Philippines for gifted pupils or gifted students. It is run by DOS or Department of Science and Technology and provides pre-secondary school scholarship with a focus on science discipline. PSHSS is considered as the top science high school in the Philippines and is viewed to be among the best in the ASEAN region by 2016. Next, the Special Science Elementary School, SSES. This project was established in accordance with DepEd Order Number 73, Series of 2008, and DepEd Order Number 51, Series of 2010, is another promising initiative. It began in 2007 with the designation of 57 primary schools across the country as Science Elementary School. The SSES or Special Science Elementary Schools project intends to provide scientific and technical information skills and values to Filipino children. Its mission is to provide a learning environment for science-inclined youngsters through a customized curriculum that respects the learner's various intelligence. All of us, we have different intelligence. Sometimes other good in music and other good in dance and other skills. Second is promote the development of lifelong learning abilities. And lastly, foster the learner's holistic development. Science subject is taught with a longer period of time, 70 minutes for grade 1 to 3, 80 minutes for grade 4 to 6. Next, Quezon City Regional Science High School. On September 17, 1967, a new science high school, Quezon City Regional Science High School, was formed. It was once known as Quezon City Science High School. In 1999, it became the National Capital Regional Science High School. This curriculum is focused on science and technology, and students can pursue additional science and technology discipline. It is located at 6 Misamis, Bago Bantay, Quezon City, and was found on September 17, 1967. Next, Manila Science High School. On October 1, 1963, the Manila Science High School, or MSHS, was established. It is regarded as the Philippines' first science high school. Its goal is to create scientists who have soul. The program includes humanities classes as well as other electives. It's located to Top Avenue Corner, Father Paura Street, Ermita, Manila, Philippines. So kita naman natin na hindi lang sila nagpo-focus sa science and math because they also include some humanities courses and other electives. Last is the Central Visayas Institute Foundation. DLP is a blend of classical and modern pedagogical methods that has been tailored to promote the highest level of learning, creativity, and productivity. Students get focused more on their academic studies and cooperative learning and more on creativity, yung way ng teaching nila to give more critical skills or knowledge. What is selected indigenous science and technology? Selected indigenous science and technology is Filipino have attempt to invent instruments that will aid them in their daily lives, particularly in the past. Ito yung mga na-invento natin na gawin para mairaos natin yung kailangan natin sa araw-araw. Indigenous knowledge is rooted in regional, indigenous, or local communities, cultural heritage. Indigenous science is a product of indigenous knowledge perfected by people through life experience. According to Paliwan 200, it includes complex array of knowledge, expertise, practices, and representation that guide human societies in their natural milieu like agriculture, medicine, naming, explaining natural phenomena, and strategies for coping with changing environments. Indigenous technologies, it is developed and manufactured in accordance with a people, culture, tradition, and needs, and then adapted for usage in the people surrounding. Let's take a look at some of the early indigenous science and technologies, including some instances from our own country. First, indigenous science, weather observation. Animal behavior was included into ASEAN. People's understanding of weather and season. People believe that if cows to lay rain is on the way, and if squirrel nests higher, your winter will be of food. We are aware that there is no scientific basis for this. This could be purely coincidental to the point where they link into meteorological condition. Indigenous science, herbal medicine, and traditional health practices. Years before the arrival of the Spaniard in the Philippines, medicinal plants were widely used to treat illness, and there were various books that list this plant. We have a 10 herbal medicine in the Philippines that approved by Department of Health or DOH. We also have a long list of traditional health practices that some of us continue to use even today. Hilot is used to treat sprain and fractures. Tawas is used to establish the cause and nature of acute diseases using potassium alum. Tuli is a well-known traditional ritual. Indigenous science, food preservation. One of the oldest way of food preservation is drying and smoking. It's worked because it removes a large portion of the water in the food, which prevent microbial activity. As we all know, pag may natitira tayong isda or other foods na pwedeng gawin na food preservation ay ginagawa natin. For example, drying, smoking, cooling, and canning at iba pa. At may mga tao na ginagawa din itong business. To continue the discussion, here is Miss Shane Sindano.
Indigenous science classifying soils. Classifying soils for agriculture was one of the early Filipinos' indigenous techniques. Early Filipino farmers' soil classification criteria were based on their experiences and their ability to observe soil resource features. This is how they determine the best usage and management strategies for the soil resource. We are now finished discuss the examples of indigenous science used by our forefathers. Now, it is time to look at the various indigenous technologies established in the country. We have here the indigenous technology, yoyo. First is the Pedros Flores yoyo. The word yoyo is Ilocano word which means come back. The yoyo, it's not just a toy. During the Spanish era, this toy played an important function. It wasn't merely a toy made up of an axle, two discs, and a string wrapped around the axle. It had previously been employed by our courageous troops to combat intruders and Spaniards. Next is the indigenous technology, medical incubator. An improvised medical incubator was invented by pediatrician Fe del Mundo. This was made up of two native laundry baskets of different sizes, placed one inside the other. Hot water bottles were placed all around between them to provide warmth. There was also a makeshift hood over the overlapping baskets to allow oxygen to circulate within. It was created to address the needs of the rural areas with no electricity that is needed to regulate newborn babies' body temperature. Next is the indigenous technology, erythromycin. Erythromycin is a macrolide antibiotic that was sold as an alternative to penicillin. It is an antibiotic that used to treat a wide range of bacterial diseases, including skin infections and infections of the upper respiratory tract. This was discovered by Abelardo Aguilar, a doctor who observed the antibacterial actions of the Aspergillus species of fungi in his hometown in Iloilo. He had no idea that one of his isolate would lead to the development of erythromycin, a powerful antibiotic. Unfortunately, the patent was issued to his then employer, a U.S. pharmaceutical firm, and he received no royalty or cut of sales, despite the fact that he was the one who obtained the samples to lead to the drug's discovery. Next is the indigenous technology, fish sauce. Ruperta David Javier, who was called Tentay for short. One day, she stored some salted fish in jars for a longer amount of time than was necessary, and the salted fish crumbled into bits even before they dried. The fish particles transformed into a liquid fluid that tasted like our patis today, while in the jars. Additionally, it was registered in 1949 as a product of Tentay Food and Sauces. Its pungent saltiness has become the basis of Vietnamese and Thai fish sauce, which they consume and incorporate in their menus. Next is the indigenous technology, banana ketchup. Filipinos love to use this condiment for every fried foods served on the table. Maria Orasa E. Ilagan, a food technologist, came up with the idea. She is credited with developing the first banana ketchup recipe. According to legend, she experimented with traditional Philippine ingredients to produce food products such as calamansi nip, which is a powdered form of calamansi, to make calamansi juice, as well as soyalac, a powdered version of soya beans that was utilized to save the lives of many Filipinos, Americans, and others who were imprisoned during World War II. Next is the indigenous technology, anti-cancer cream and mole remover. Rolando de la Cruz is a Filipino inventor who earned the Gold Award at the prestigious International Inventors Forum in November 2005 for developing an anti-cancer cream. It's called the BCC cream, and it's made from cashew nuts and various plants found in the area. It is used to treat basal skin carcinoma or BSC, which is the most common type of skin cancer in the world. He was also successful in developing a lotion that may be used to remove deep growth moles and warts. And the last one is the indigenous technology 16-bit microchip. A Filipino invented the first 16-bit microchip, Diosdado Banatao, created the first single-chip graphical user interface accelerator, which significantly improved computer performance. This development has made it possible for computer users to use images instead of the traditional textual commands seen on the older system.